Because there was an interesting part in this chart if we see that the amount of deals that were done in fintech supersede others. But I see IT solutions there, I see delivery and transfer, and I think cybersecurity touches upon every one of them, especially when it comes to data. And data now is this whole issue for bigger social networking companies like Facebook, Twitter, and Google. So let's take it back a little bit locally. Where are we at in terms of that? Is the regulation catching up with all these different startups, or are we still at a loss somewhere?
I would say generally that we're catching up on multiple dimensions, including regulations. But we have to recognize that cybersecurity is a nascent field. This is where we are. We spent the past 15 years or so as captains of industries, single-mindedly focused on digital transformation. And cybersecurity was almost an afterthought, or actually it became a prime thought after an accident happened, so a successful attack. And so if you step back and you think about why this is the case, I would say threefold. First is because we as societies and economies globally in the region, we haven't yet fully fathom the full impact of the digital landscape we have created. And let me exemplify this to you. If you have 10 devices communicating between each others, this is equivalent to 10 to the power 10 permutations of how they communicate. And each one of these permutations could be a contributor to a threat attack. So imagine a global society or regional societies with millions, if not billions, of devices being connected, and sort of you start putting on top of this the importance of cybersecurity. Secondly, I would say we don't have yet in the public discourse a coherent way to talk about how we measure cybersecurity. And I'll give you a simple example. If you survey the digital footprint of the UAE, so anything that is visible to the public, so a website or a server, that would amount to around 800,000. Through our proprietary tool, we're able to determine that 266,000 of this 800,000 have meaningful vulnerability, 40% of which are serious vulnerabilities, i.e. I can literally alter, an attacker, an adversary can literally alter these websites. So we need to come up with a common way to think and to measure the impact of cybersecurity. And the third lever, I would say, is we're in the early innings within policy making in general, within the C-suites and the boards to think about sort of the evolution of the cybersecurity strategies and regulations, and also how to put in place the organizations, whether they're the regulators, but also the security agencies that will take in charge of this particular agenda. So you look at this glass and you would say it's half empty. I would say it's half full because it's a formidable also opportunity for us as a fully integrated cybersecurity providers to have a great impact. So yesterday, Danielle presented the phenomenal work that's being done at Expo 2020. DarkMatter is the cybersecurity provider of that project. And you have to sort of step back and think about the fact that this warfare is the most digitized warfare ever. Now, you could make the case, well, obviously it is because digital technologies have evolved. But to be able to sort of secure from a cyber standpoint for 6 months all these digital assets, all the visitors, is a phenomenal task. There is no precedent for it. We're doing the same work currently with the Emirates Nuclear ENIC, so their nuclear energy corporation, and there we're working hand in hand with the management to make sure that the cybersecurity readiness of their first plant, Baraka 1, is going to be there so that it becomes operational. And again, there is no precedent for this. That particular nuclear power generation plant has no equivalent in terms of level of digitization. So I think our industry in general, the digital industry and sort of the counterpart, which is the cybersecurity industry, have to work together because very simply, the more we expand the digital landscape, the more we have to do on the cybersecurity safeness of everything that we're doing.
Okay, so you bring up